Good afternoon. My name is Hye Sun, and I'm in AI product management at GE Healthcare. I'm excited about the opportunity to talk about how AI is creating a revolution towards precision health. Thank you for joining me today. So if you've been in healthcare for a while, or even briefly, you're very familiar with these market forces. The challenges that we are trying to address in healthcare include capacity and access. There are more and more people entering the healthcare system, and they're met with decreased resources on the provider side. In addition, we're seeing clinician burnout continuing to increase, and in the radiology area, it's close to 50%. On productivity and cost efficiency, almost every healthcare system is being stretched and asked to do more with less. We all saw this very personally and firsthand with the pandemic that we're still tackling. Patient outcomes. Just because there is increased demand and the ask to do more with less, none of us come into healthcare willing to sacrifice on outcomes and the best care for patients. Unfortunately, medical errors are the third leading cause of death. So how do we respond to these market forces that are challenging the whole healthcare system? Here at GE Healthcare, we believe the answer to these challenges is going to be around precision health, an approach to care that is integrated, efficient, and highly personalized to each patient. Let me explain in a little bit more detail what precision health means to us. To put it simply, it's about doing the right thing at the right time for every patient at a global scale. This includes building smarter diagnostic machines, which automatically personalize tests to a patient's specific needs. AI-based decision support centered around clinical and operational decisions, giving care providers confidence in these decisions. Better drug development using AI to intelligently select the right patient cohorts. More precise therapies using augmented and virtual reality to guide surgeries. And finally, the extension of monitoring into new settings such as telehealth and outpatient monitoring. This is an area that has been greatly accelerated and been vital with the pandemic. At the end of the day, we need to harness the best of the digital innovation and AI across the care continuum if we're going to drive towards this vision of precision health. Now, let's look at a few examples that already exist and demonstrate where we've leveraged AI to drive forward in this journey. One example in women's health ultrasound is Sonos CNS. Now envision that you or your loved one is going in for a 20-week checkup during pregnancy. It's very standard at 20 weeks to get a full ultrasound to monitor the fetal progress and growth. One of the most intensive steps, time-intensive steps in this fetal exam is to review the central nervous system. This process now takes 41 keystrokes, and depending on the skill and experience of the sonographer, you're introducing potential for error and a longer amount of time for the exam. With Sonos CNS, we built a deep learning model that is able to reduce the 41 keystrokes to 8, and we're giving 75% time back to the sonographer and the patient. Another example in the diagnostic space, this time with Xray, is Critical Care Suite. What we embedded into the device is an AI model that automatically recognizes a critical condition when the image is taken. Think about being in an emergency room after a car accident. One of the first things that they will do is take an X-ray, look for critical conditions like pneumothorax, which is a collapsed lung. Current practice is that the X-ray will sit in a radiologist's queue, and it may be looked at in minutes or hours. Now with Critical Care Suite, the image can be moved to the top of the radiologist's queue if a critical is detected. This means that the radiologist will confirm and be able to immediately alert the care team to take the next steps to intervene. And we're not just thinking about diagnostics, we're thinking about patient monitoring. So how do you have full line of sight to what is happening in your ICU setting? Mural is a virtual care solution that integrates data from multiple systems and devices into a single pane, surfacing actionable insights. So you probably observed the trend here. These AI solutions are powerful data science, but they are also packaged and delivered right into workflow steps that clinical providers and sonographers already use on a daily basis. We're not adding more to their workflow, we're automating and taking steps out. There's several more examples of both GE and partner developed AI solutions that make it appear as though we're moving pretty fast on this precision health journey. But when we take a step back and think about the magnitude of delivering precision health, the magnitude of driving the outcomes needed to do the right thing at the right time for every patient at a global scale, the journey is just beginning. We have to think about how can we move even faster, deliver more solutions. To put it another way, if we're going to unlock the goal of precision health, we will need thousands of these solutions working together. We will need the intelligence and insights of one application to build on top of another, and all of this to be coordinated. So how do we go about thinking of scaling from a handful of apps to thousands of apps? So industry has been thinking about this question, and the good news is that providers are ready as well. So 80% of healthcare leaders around the globe see value in leveraging AI. And we see this tidal wave of innovation rising to the challenge to fulfill the precision health vision, with over 350 startups working on healthcare AI and backed by $4 billion of venture capital funding. Now, thinking more about this from the provider standpoint, how should you be thinking about this tidal wave of AI and applications that will be coming across your desk to help your job better, faster, with greater impact? We've seen a shift of acquisition strategy already being played out in many other industries. And although healthcare is unique because of the direct impact to quality of life, we don't think healthcare is an exception. Let's take the example of the iPhone. So before the iPhone, you'd buy the best in breed camera, you'd buy the best in breed phone, select the best in breed internet provider. Then all of a sudden at one point, all of this was bundled into one preferred vendor. And what we see today is through that single vendor, you get your news, you order food, you engage in social media. There's a preferred ecosystem paradigm that's begun to play out, and we're seeing the same shift happening in healthcare. Whether you're a department head or a hospital CIO, CEO, you can't just be looking for the best in breed solutions and just hoping it all integrates well together. You must be thinking about ecosystems and how you can partner to open the door for this acceleration of innovation. So unpacking this a little bit more, if you're a healthcare provider, you don't have the resource to facilitate this, nor should you. A trend we're seeing across healthcare systems is that clinicians are spending less than 27% of their time with their patients. If we harness this wave of innovation incorrectly, the number could get even worse. If we add the burden of sitting through and sifting through all these thousands of applications, we're going to get further and further away from the core of healthcare centered around the patient. So outside of healthcare, how would you feel if you had to have separate logins on Netflix to view different genres of shows, or if you're a pilot and you had different dashboards instead of a unified cockpit? This is really unacceptable in other industries, and it's also unacceptable in healthcare as well. So how do we build and deliver innovation in a manner that healthcare truly demands? So this is a problem we're addressing with the Edison ecosystem. It was built to develop and deliver solutions at scale. To simplify it, our goal is to build and partner efficiently and deploy invisibly. So looking at the first two columns, when it comes to building applications, we start with the problems that are most pressing. We lean in our experience as a healthcare technology company, partner closely with clinicians to identify pain points. And in the second column, we equip developers with tools to deliver solutions like Sonos CNS, Critical Care Suite, to address the pain points. We're also sharing this tool set to enable startup partners and developers, enabling developers in this way. So building the innovations also is not enough, right? So we need to harness the innovation and embed it seamlessly into the workflows throughout the hospital system. So GE Healthcare has the advantage of already having a global footprint of devices and software when it comes to this last mile of healthcare delivery. We have over 2 billion scans that we generate a year with 16,000 images a minute coming off of GE devices, 50 million data elements monitored every day in over 160 countries around the world. What we've done with the Edison ecosystem is developed platform components to deliver innovation seamlessly and quickly into that last mile of delivery. And we meet customers where they're at. Sometimes the innovation fits right there in the device. Sometimes it's at the enterprise level where multiple care team members need to engage. Sometimes we leverage cloud because it's needed enterprise to enterprise. Then all of this is wrapped in a consistency around data management, security, software delivery upgrades so that you have a one-stop shop to being able to access, utilize, and benefit from the innovations. So let's talk about what this looks like in a hospital setting. It's not just about offering the appropriate solutions for different problems, but we need to think about how to orchestrate the solutions so providers feel like they're getting a unified, robust assistant as opposed to many different disparate sources of insight. Think about a conductor of an orchestra. The Edison OpenAI Orchestrator is one of the platform components of the broader ecosystem, and it's a layer that looks across different solutions, whether it comes from GE or partners. And it knows when to call different solutions into play and how to coordinate their strengths together so the care team and the patient gets the best of all worlds. Instead of feeling this tidal wave of applications, you feel a single, unified, empowered view on how to leverage the best of innovation. And without this orchestration, it's like bringing you many pieces of a puzzle and expecting you to put it together. But instead, with orchestration, it's like we're coming to you with a completed puzzle so healthcare providers can focus on the patients and improving outcomes. So with the Edison ecosystem in place, we have confidence that we can deliver on precision health, activating the data being generated on your devices, liberating caregivers from administrative and operational tasks to improve patient care, and together keeping the patient at the center of healthcare. Thank you for your time.